It's snowing out. There's a nice big flakes coming down, and of course, I'm just getting to my video. It's going on 3 o'clock. Funny enough, I feel like I kind of get channeled what I want to do, and it sort of, all kind of comes together around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It just doesn't come earlier than that. I've tried. And then I find that I'm fighting against it for hours instead of just letting it all come. It's that patience thing that's taken me a whole lot of years to learn. I'm the most, and always was, the most impatient person on the planet, which is why, I kind of outran a lot of people. It wasn't, them, it was me and my impatience. But it's a lesson I've learned well over the last 10 years when I really embarked in changing my life to reprioritize. At the time, it was more about my body falling apart. Returning from South America after a year, I'd sold my business. I kind of ran away from it all. And I returned and I looked in the mirror one day and I didn't recognize that girl. Wow. I had lost my spirit. It had been chipped away at, and it took me pretty much till now. It's been the last 3-4 years, and then heavily for probably a year and a half. It's been levels of my evolution. And, now I understand that that's just never going to come to an end. When you're young, you think that, by 20, by 30, by 40, and then you start getting to those ages. And, what's interesting is when I was 40, and then I was fearful of getting old. That program message that, life as you knew it is pretty much over. Scared the shit out of me, and I didn't really want anything to do with that model. And I remember returning from South America, and within a couple of weeks there was a commercial came on my computer, and it was the picture of the old guy who was active, and then the one kind of glued to a cane, and it hit me really hard. And at that point I went, that's it. I do not want to be, number one, I was single and still am. It's like, who's going to take care of me? I'm going to be institutionalized. It was the first time that thought had hit me. And the fear of institutions has largely driven my life and where I am today. And I thought, oh my God, it just doesn't work. It does not fit. I don't ever see myself in an institution. I don't buy into conventional medicine. I have fixed myself naturally. That methodology has taken over all of my life because it clearly works for me. Clearly. I look at pictures when I was 40 and I don't even recognize her. In fact, what's happened by the time I hit 50 and now 52 is I look more like the 20-year-old than I ever did, interestingly enough. Healthy, vibrant. So I'm kind of feel like I'm back where I started. And I can guarantee you the 52 doesn't look like what I thought it was going to look like when I was 20 or 30 or even 40. I thought I was going to be much older. I honestly, I can't remember what my picture was because, it's hard. You look at your parents and you look at their friends, and those are your models. I didn't realize I was never going to lose my young heart. I didn't realize that I would never lose my sense of adventure. I had no idea that I would actually come to rediscover the very essence of myself right back where I started. Um, and that has been the absolute blessing for me of this entire journey. Interestingly enough, it's been, you build these layers, and then I found that my objective has been stripping away those layers to reveal the girl that I started as. And that is beautiful. And I love that narrative of my life. I think that it's pretty hard to reprioritize your life when you're surrounded by the same old. You can't, because there are so many competing interests that really want to hold you where you were. Being single for me was integral in changing that dynamic. I don't know that I could have done this journey together with someone to this point that I finally have restored my essence. And now I kind of feel like I'm ready to move forward in perhaps a partnership. Honestly, I'm open to the universe at this point. I'm happy anyway. I know that in the future, though, any possible partnerships that I would ever entertain would be with someone who is mutually on the same path as me. Who's taken the hits, and instead of burying themselves, they've understood or are coming to the understanding of the blessing that it actually is. Life is funny, isn't it? And one thing I can tell you is it's not the way I thought. And, when I head off to Ecuador soon, when I'm learning to surf at 52, I can tell you I never saw that happening. I'm in better shape than I've ever been. I'm more solid in my convictions than I've ever been. But I'm also open to continuing to learn. And that is, to me, the essence of, why we're here.